There's a lot to go through today, but these corny rhymes are here to stay. However, I will keep it short because there's some things I gotta report. As you can see, it's the Bar for Bar Weekly. It's the Bar for Bar Weekly for the week of July 17th, 2020. And this week has been really busy, surprisingly. Let's just get right into it because there's not much random things to talk about. Let's start things off with the biggest bit of news at the moment. So earlier this week, Tory Lanez was in the news. What had happened was around 4:30 in the morning at his home in Hollywood, there were reports of gunshots and arguing outside of an SUV. After the gunshots, SUV drove away. Police caught up to them. Turns out it was Tory and Megan Thee Stallion in the car. They searched the car and allegedly found a gun. And Tory was arrested for having said gun. At first, though, because like I said, Megan was there, it was reported that she said that she cut her foot on glass. Later on, like literally the next day, she posted on Instagram that she was shot in the foot and that she's okay. And then yesterday, the allegations came out that Tory shot her in the leg or the foot because she was trying to get out of the car or try to get away. These are all allegations. We don't know what's real and what's not yet because this literally just happened. But if Tory shot her in the leg for trying to leave, that's going to be a problem. Hopefully, those are just allegations and that did not actually happen. But we will see. Moving on from that, academics earlier this week had said that he, because of Meek Mill specifically, he was fired from Complex and banned from Twitch for life. I guess that was a fucking lie, though.
So that was a fucking lie.
Because literally days later, he went on Twitter and said, "Ha, fake news. I didn't get fired. Check your news sources." But he was the one that said it first, so but regardless, he is still with Complex and back on Twitch. That was really weird though, because he said it himself. So that just kind of goes to show that he'll just say whatever the hell he wants. Is this really someone that you want to represent the culture? Just something to think about. He also went on Twitter kind of arguing and just thinking he's better than Guapdad. They had a bit of a back and forth. So basically he was saying that his rap ego, I think Lil AK, I forgot whatever it is, was doing better numbers on streaming on Spotify specifically than Guapdad 4000. And then Guapdad showed the receipts and showed that he was clearly doing better. And this was his first year independent. So, yeah. All those tweets are now deleted, though, from academics. So, whatever that means. Next, the second biggest bit of news. So, earlier, I think Sunday, Nick Cannon on his Cannon Class podcast had Professor Griff, who was originally part of Public Enemy, but allegedly got removed for his anti-Semitic and homophobic stances. Professor Griff went on to the podcast and basically just stood by them and just defended his stance. And then Nick said some things. a few of the things he mentioned was that black people are the true Hebrews. And then he also said, and like this is an actual quote, "It's never hate speech. You can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people. When we are the same people who they want to be. That's our birthright. We are the true Hebrews." He also, paraphrasing, he also said that white people are lesser than black people. All this basically led to him being to him and Viacom / CBS ending their relationship. So he is no longer on MTV. Wild 'N Out is no longer a thing. And they actually stopped showing reruns, I think. Nick did apologize the day after this, like he got removed from Viacom. And it seems like he was very sorry, and he knows that he messed up, because other people actually, instead of just immediately trying to cancel him, went through the effort of trying to educate him. And I appreciate that people actually took the time to do that. However, like, the people who are upset that he got removed, you have to understand that racism is still racism. Now, it is really fucked up that he got removed almost immediately when these things came out, whereas if it was a white person talking down on a black person, they probably would still have a job. But let's not get into that right now. The point is, he's sorry, and hopefully his career doesn't end here, because he does a lot of good things still, but we'll see as time goes on. Moving on to something a little bit lighter, I guess. During an IG Live, Olu of Earth Gang was asked, "Where's J. Cole's album? Where's the fall off?" And his response was, due to coronavirus, it was delayed. And it's coming soon. It's just currently in customs, whatever that's supposed to mean. Most people took that to mean that it is around the corner and we will be getting a J. Cole album very soon. After this, it was weird. Like, it sounded like it was confirmed, but apparently there are rumors that J. Cole was going to appear on Young Money Radio tonight. But then Ibrahim, J. Cole's manager, shut everything down and was like, "Nah, none of this is true. Y'all crazy." I don't know how serious he was about it, but it seemed pretty genuine. Basically, he was like, "Y'all can't really understand jokes, obviously, because, like, why would we announce it this way?" Stuff like that. I don't know that is 100% true. We will see, since Young Money Radio hasn't aired yet, and I don't think they've announced who's going to be on it. Who knows? But normally, like, everyone got hyped up because J. Cole doesn't do interviews. The only time he does interviews is when there's an album coming, or when an album has released. Like, within, like, basically 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. Like, it's a very short window that he'll do interviews. But we'll see. Now on to all the random bits of news. Billboard announced that they are no longer counting albums bundled in with ticket sales as true album sales. So now, or well, not now, but in October, I believe, if you want an album sale to count when you're purchasing a ticket, you must opt in to buy the album. You cannot just have it bundled in. Cool. That's kind of the same thing that they did with merch sales. So I appreciate it. I mean, because you have people who buy multiple pieces of merch, and then for each piece of merch, they're basically buying an album, which will definitely boost sales. Like, that's going to happen. So this is a good way to kind of make things a little bit more fair, I think. As far as Kanye goes, I mean, we have heard reports that he is dropping out of the presidential race, but then we also heard reports that he has officially filed to run. Please don't vote for Kanye. And that's another thing, actually, before, like, I didn't write it down, but Chance the Rapper needs to shut up. He's said some stupid things on Twitter earlier this week, basically saying, if you don't vote for Kanye, you're racist. Excuse me? That's all I gotta say about that. In other news, at a protest for Breonna Taylor, both YBN Cordae and Trey the Truth were arrested among, I think it was like 87 people. Like, and they weren't doing nothing. They were just protesting. So, some bullshit. That's all I gotta say about that. Like, shout out to people going out and supporting the cause. Like, but why you gotta arrest people? It's kind of fucked up. DJ Khaled announced his next album, Khaled, will be dropping soon. That's also his name. His first and last name is Khaled, in case you were curious. He also released 2 songs with Drake, Popstar and Grease, I think. They're both out. You can listen to them if you want. The Migos are suing their lawyer, Damian Granderson, basically claiming that he has robbed and cheated them out of millions. This comes out of basically the delays that the original Culture album, Culture 1, faced. So basically they're claiming that he orchestrated this sort of like dispute between labels to postpone this album during their transition to Capitol Records. So Culture 1 was released by Quality Control Music and distributed by 300, whereas Culture 2 was, I think it was all fully distributed by Capitol Records. I forgot to write that down. Basically, their lawyer supposedly had some sort of say in this. I don't know exactly, because I didn't want to read the whole legal document, but it's out there if you want to read it. And then a little bit later, the CEO of Quality Control Music had some words, and it's really just a dumb post. Like, it's a really long post, and it ends in him basically saying, this is a time that we should be together, using basically the death of Marlo as an excuse to postpone this. Yes, the death of a rapper in the community is sad, but I'm pretty sure the Migos were trying to push for this way before this. Plus, it's their money, and they need it now. Anyways, I don't know what's going to happen with this. This is probably going to take years to fully resolve, but we'll see. And the last bit of news I have is that Logic has announced his final album and that he will be retiring from rap. So his final album, No Pressure, will be dropping next week. Supposedly, he's retiring. No one ever retires from rap, though. So, but he said in the post that it's been a great decade, and now it's time for him to be a great father. And, you know, as much as I hate Logic, his music, I mean, I appreciate that. Like, you have the means, or like you have everything that you need now Go spend time with your family. Like, because he can afford to now. And, it's just a good sentiment. But that won't stop me from tearing that album apart. If it's trash, I will tell you. And I will destroy him. Anyways, now there's album releases. Not too much release this week, though, because it's the middle of July. I don't know. As far as albums go, we got Blue in Exile. They dropped Miles. It is a long album. It is an hour and a half long. But it's good, though. We also have an album from Kyle titled See You When I'm Famous. Joey Badass dropped a 3-piece titled The Light Pack. Hopefully this means that an album's coming. I hope so. Like, this was pretty good. Yeah. And then Odyssey dropped an EP titled The Odd Cure. And that was really good as well. Yeah, that's basically all I got. I feel like I breezed through a lot of stuff, which is probably for the best. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if I missed something or misinterpreted something or misreported, I guess. And like and subscribe if you want to see more news and album reviews and other music talk, because that's all I do these days. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there.